Hey guys, Future Dylan here. It's been an insane couple of weeks since I got back from New Orleans, so this is getting released late. That's okay. Enjoy it, and we're going to try to spin the next weeks around pretty quick. Here we go. Hey guys, so it's been a little bit of a crazy week, what with going down to New Orleans last weekend. I took Frank down to New Orleans for the Oktoberfest 6K put on by the New Orleans Track Club. It's a hell of a great event. If you were there, shout out to you. I met a lot of awesome people there. Got to hang out with Emily and Mike for a little bit. Couple of Emily was a client of mine who lives in New Orleans. So getting to talk to them for a little bit was cool. We hung out at the tent. Did the whole shaking hands, kissing babies thing all weekend. It was a good day. So it was fun. So just going for a little bit of a stroll here, kind of working the kinks out of my leg, because yeah, this was the week that my knee got grumpy. At first I thought it was an IT band issue, just because that's what we normally default to thinking when we were like, ow, my knee hurts. But because it was on the outside of my knee, like almost felt kind of like runner's knee kind of thing. But I think after poking around at it, prodding at it, and hitting it with the massage gun and the foam roller, I actually had a knot in my quad, especially the vastus lateralis, the big muscly part on the outside, and it was yanking on my kneecap. Kind of putting some pressure through it, through the patellar tendon and whatnot. So a lot of same symptoms as if it was an IT band issue, but it hurt. So yeah, this was the week that I was forced to take a down week, roughly half a week ahead of schedule. So yeah, that's where we're at. We had done the track workout, the 16 400s with 100-meter recovery at threshold effort, with just easy effort on the recovery bits. So, and the quad and the knee felt great while doing the 400s. That last one, I actually the way it works out is the last one started at about the 300-meter mark on the track, which means you should finish at the 300-meter mark on the track, and then you get 100-meter recovery to the finish line to finish up that rep. And in my fuel-deprived brain, as we were wrapping up, 4 miles at threshold, I just went all the way through to the finish line. So I ended up running a 500 for the last rep. Not that really matters in the grand scheme of things, but it's fun. I had a good chuckle at myself because my brain wasn't working, and then kind of sit around jabbering with the guys for 2 or 3 minutes maybe, and then tried to cool down with some folks. And as soon as I started to run easy, I had this huge crow hop going on because my right knee hurt. It was so tight. I was like, oh geez, I've really overdone it. This is not good, especially with having to drive 5.5 hours to get to New Orleans and 5.5 hours to get back this weekend. So that's where we were last time we talked, right? So here's what's going on. I mean, isn't this such a cool place? This Huckleberry Trails, guys. If you're in the area, I don't run here a lot because it's not really the trail's not long enough to really get some work in, and I'm a terrible trail runner. I'd break my ankle on the random routes and whatnot. But it's great for walking around. It's great for stuff like this, just going for a stroll. I can hear some dogs barking. I don't think the school hasn't let out yet, so they got a school right on the other side of the park from us. So, but it's really nice to have right outside my back door. All right, so Thursday last week, day after the track session that we absolutely crushed, and then it crushed our knee. Thursday, recovery day, ended up staying up way too late for Wednesday night's D&D session. I meant to go to bed at, like pull the plug at like 10 and I shut it down then. It was almost midnight by the time I actually crawled into bed. So for a day when you get up at 4:15 a.m., staying up until midnight, even sleeping until almost, I want to say I slept like 6:30 or something like that the next day. It might have been pushing 7 o'clock actually, but I was fried and tired. So I ended up the easy run. Ended up having to do it after lunchtime essentially. So I took it nice and easy. Went to the North Greenway. I did like a 750 average or something like that. It's, super easy for me on the Greenway in the shade because it was starting to get warm. And the knee was a little tight and grumpy, but we kind of took recovery seriously at that point and started getting ready for traveling down to New Orleans. So Friday came around. I was like, oh, I need to get this hour run in before hopping in the car, spending all afternoon after work driving down to New Orleans. So I got up early and I got, I'd gotten a good night's sleep. I went out, got pizza and beer. I actually split a beer with my wife on Thursday night. So I definitely had a case of the I don't want us on Friday morning, which you can kind of run into sometimes, when it's like the third or fourth up week in a row, right before you hit that recovery week. I definitely had a case of the I don't want us, and I know that half a beer didn't help. But like psychologically, like physically, I felt much better. My knee didn't hurt nearly as much, after getting on the foam roller and rolling it a little bit. But it was definitely a day where like discipline is the reason why I got done, not motivation. I had a serious case of I don't want us while we were out there. But yeah, so we got the hour easy in. We were hit 734 average, so right smack dab in the middle of my easy pace range. It was an easy day. Saturday, I got down to New Orleans. I think I got out of the car at like 8 p.m. or something like that. I had stopped to get some dinner somewhere. I don't remember what I got, honestly. But yeah, I was traveling, Got to this little hole-in-the-wall hotel about, a couple miles from the race site and the Deutsche House down in New Orleans, where the Oktoberfest was going on, where the race was for the next day. But I finally managed to get in. Oh, I had Subway for dinner. That's what I had. I got a big old sub, lots of veggies. It hit the spot. But then I got to New Orleans, crashed out. I did not sleep super great. I had a hard time getting to sleep. I think I may have just been a little amped between the drive. I didn't get there till 8. So, after driving, especially trying to find a hotel in the almost rough side of New Orleans, but not quite. I was amped. So, but the next morning I was like, all right, get up. I'm going to go to City Park. I should have taken pictures. It was beautiful. All the live oaks, and the mist was kind of just it was kind of just a little bit foggy. It was absolutely beautiful out. Now Carmel coach was there with a couple of his girls. They were doing a workout, so I got to meet him. Turned out he was a board member of the New Orleans Track Club, and I saw him again later that day at the 6K. So yeah, shout out to Brian. It's good meeting you, man. But I'd planned originally on doing an 18-mile run, but I ran 10K easy and then shut it down because at that point, at about 5.5 miles, I was feeling okay, but then about 5.5 miles, that quad got tight enough that stuff was starting to get uncomfortable. So I shut it down. I made myself take my own advice, and you should not force an 18-mile long run if stuff doesn't feel good. That's just a bad idea. You're going to get hurt. So so I shut it down. I kind of spent part of the day putting around. Accidentally, unintentionally, found a place that apparently last year got the best pizza place in New Orleans award. A little place, I think it's called G's, maybe? The letter G, G's. But they had an awesome pizza, and I ate about half of it and ended up eating the other half for breakfast, brunch the next morning before coming home. But then we went to the 6K, hung out. I had been on the fence about racing the 6K because I like racing and I need to race more. It's only 6K, but the race started at 4 p.m., so it was hot. But mostly, with how my knee was feeling that morning, it would be a dumb idea to try to go, like, I wouldn't just go run 4 miles. Like, I'd end up trying to race it, and that's not what my knee needed. I needed to start recovery week now, really, like 3 days ago. So I didn't race, hung out at the tent, met a bunch of awesome folks, got to hang out with Emily and Mike. It was great. Afterwards, I was really dehydrated and tired, and so I didn't drink any beer at Oktoberfest. I know sounds kind of blasphemous, but I'm in marathon training, so I didn't have any beer while I was at Oktoberfest. Someone was nice enough to buy Frank a beer at some point, or they're giving away free beer, and so Frank got a beer. I think I took a picture of it. I'll put it over here if I did. This is a great picture anyway. So, but bought some souvenirs for the kids. I got them some hats, a little chicken hat, and just like a little red cap with a feather in it, and got Frank a little hat as well. So he's got an Oktoberfest hat now. So he's got, beyond just being a skeleton for Halloween, he's got something else he can wear in October. So got to keep the mascot happy, right? I mean, assistant coach. Yeah, that's right. I'm an assistant coach, not no mascot. Band there called the Brats. They do like a lot of covers of songs you wouldn't expect a polka band to do covers of. But it was highly entertaining. It was an absolute blast. I wish I hadn't been so fried from standing out in the sun all afternoon, trying to recruit clients, because it was a lot of fun. I wish I had more juice in me to keep going. But eventually I ended up shutting down and getting back to the house, or to the hotel. And then the next morning, woke up, ran a couple easy miles back to City Park again, just so we'd stay close to the car in case I needed to shut it down and not be 5 miles from the car and have to limp home to the car. So, we could run kind of short loops, staying within a mile of the car. And the knee was starting to feel better at this point. But the 5-hour car ride home definitely didn't help. So yeah, that's about where we're at the end of week 6. I'm going to stop there, and we'll put the stuff for week 7 in the next one, instead of doing like most of week 6 and part of week 7. We'll take advantage of being kind of messed up schedule-wise to cut it there and get it out to you. And I'll start immediately working on week 7, so we can get that out to you quick. So until next time, guys, train smart.